I'm on a new camping trip now. So we still don't really have locker rooms and things like that. So I still have to bring my gym bag, right? But we're at a better camping location than we were in the last camping location. So we've got a lot of amenities. Once that practice facility gets up and running, I feel like we can make some pretty good progress, and our guys are excited to be in here.
Keith, what kind of a team are you different? How different are you now than when you played even Dayton just, what was it, a week and a half ago or whatever? I mean, I think it seems like you're a different team.
We're different. We've grown up a little bit. We've gotten better. We're in a little better condition. Our young guys are getting smarter. A little bit better role definition, a little bit better playing together. Now we're going to see if we can win a close game against a good team. You know, we played 2 fairly good games against St. Bonaventure. We just didn't win when it mattered. And so really we've been in every single game we've been in. Now we just have to make sure that our young guys figure out ways to win when it matters.
Keith, could you have picked a better time throughout the season for this arena to open up? I mean, you have 2 huge home games this week, and I feel like this is definitely a positive thing to have a new building also this week.
It's a good question. The first day of the season would have been nice. And actually, you're going to laugh at this, but I probably would have rather played both those games at La Roche because nobody can make anything in La Roche. And the more times we're there, that's a distinct advantage because that place, Hey,
Keith, now that you're out from there, can you? Is there anything that maybe you weren't saying to us that you did know that you didn't want to get in the heads of your players that you found out about the rims and were you ever able to figure that out or no?
You know what? No, not really. I mean, I have some hypotheses, but I really haven't. You know, we'd have to do a scientific experiment to figure that one out.
But actually, to Noah's question, Keith, just to follow up a little bit, will you allow yourself to either be optimistic and excited at some point tonight during the game against Dayton about what this place is going to look like when it does open and have a full house, or will you be at all melancholy at any point because you opened it without fans in the building? Will you allow yourself those thoughts?
Well, I kind of stay in the real time. So I don't really worry. There's nothing I could do about the fans. So we'll play with no fans. I mean, and the thing that's really exciting about this place is I just don't think they could have done a better job with it. It's a perfect building for us, just like Gonzaga is a perfect building for Gonzaga. It's a perfect size. It's well done. It's different. It's not cookie cutter, NBA arena. And, when we get the next phases done, it'll be even better. But it's really a great fan experience, I think. So I think that's what's kind of unique about this building. It's not like any other building that anybody's seen.
Keith, what was the players' reaction when you guys stepped on the court today?
Well, we came in yesterday too, so they were excited about it. They took videos of their first shot. We kind of looked like a junior college for 2 years. No disrespect to the junior college, but we didn't have high major amenities, with our practices, our game situation, our laundry, so it's just nice to be a high major again. So they were excited.
Keith, you guys as well as Dayton are both top 4 defensively in the conference. What do you think the Flyers do to make it so hard to score on them, and how can you guys prepare for that?
Well, they're very conservative defensively, and they're big on the wings, so now they use their length, and then they play straight analytics. So they're one of the few teams that won't double us as much in the post. They'll play us straight up because they don't think that the post shot's going to beat them. The 2-pointers are going to beat him. Again, he was in the NBA, so that's a straight NBA analytic. The threes will beat you, the twos won't. Free throw line will beat you, the twos won't. So, I mean, they're good at what they do. They're just a well-polished team, it'll be a close game. I'm sure of that. And, you know, for us, we just got to keep them out of transition. We got beaten transition last game.
Heath, for what it's worth, what kind of feedback did you get, if any, from other coaches, other teams about this arena? Did anyone talk to you at all, or just congratulate you, or don't they like you well enough? I don't know.
I think I'm fairly well liked. Come on, Dave. Like, I'm not some shrew. Yeah, I think I'm some shrew. Some old crotchety shrew. Okay. You know, not much like guys are so into their own stuff right now. You know, the biggest thing I can tell you is when the building was being built, most people were impressed that Duquesne finally made the commitment. You know, and they knew when I came that I wouldn't have come here if I didn't think they were committed. You know, you don't leave your hometown where all your friends and family are with a fairly well-established program to come to Duquesne where the last 9 coaches have been fired, unless you think there's strong commitment. So, I mean, I think they respect that Duquesne is trying to be good, you know, and like everybody, like the good teams in this league are all committed to being good. There's a lot of finances that go into men's basketball.
You know, you mentioned about Gonzaga a couple of times, and, you know, not that you're comparing this program to that, but, you know, it's a private school. You know, you have this arena now that you're trying to have an identity. If you're an opposing coach, or if you were the coach coming in, what would your impression be? Can you add anything to what you already said to it? Is it would you feel the same way about maybe coming in and saying, hey, I'm playing a team that has kind of a unique place?
Well, I think once the city reopens up, right, when you combine pretty good academics, strong commitment from Board of Trustees, president, athletic director, strong facility commitment, you know, strong coach commitment, and a very good league, you would say, well, Duquesne has a chance to be pretty good. It's still a people business. You have to have good players, good people, good coaches. But you have no chance if you don't have those other things, as has been seen here over the years, right? Like it has to be systemic that Duquesne hasn't won. It can't be that every guy's a bad coach or they're that unlucky, right? I know a lot of those coaches, they were good coaches. They just didn't have enough to get it done, or they had bad luck, one or the other.
Coach, it seems like a lot of, or in your last couple of games, you've had less substitutions and you're playing less players than you had earlier in this season. Is it safe to say that you have your rotation now and you have your guys you like coming off the bench, and we can expect to see this moving forward where we're not going to see 10, 11, 12 different guys playing for you?
I don't know. I think it's still a little premature. I still think there's some guys that aren't playing for us that are good players. So I think we're going to play it by ear and see how it all pans out. You know, I think guys practice like they play. So I judge a lot on practice. Guys don't work hard in practice, then I have a hard time, you know, putting them out there. So I think we're still developing. I mean, if we would ask a month ago if Tyson Acuff was going to play for us, you probably would have said no. And if I would have asked you if Mikey Bukelja would be starting for you, you probably would have thought I was in the insane asylum or ready for the white coat. So I think a lot of things change. And I think one thing that really that it depends on is, you know, the sum of those parts really come into play on this, right? How the sum fits together doesn't necessarily mean the 5 best players play. That's kind of the unique thing about basketball. So that's been the hardest thing for us, is determining how it all fit together.
Keith, do you have an update on Maceo Austin? I know you said you're still going to play it week by week with him. How's he doing mentally, and do you expect him to get any playing time this week?
Well, he looks really good in practice. I mean, he's playing probably at the highest level that I've seen him play. But I'm not going to push him, you know, and now, you know, there's a lot of complications with that, right? He doesn't want to be, I mean, not only his mental health, but also his relationship with teammates, because if he comes back, that cuts somebody out of some minutes. So that's not easy for him either. So we'll see. We'll see, but it's going to be totally up to him.
Keith, if you have any more further conversations with Chad and about trying to keep an emotional rudder in the day and a half, I guess, since the St. Joe's game?
Every day. And my biggest thing with him is it's clear he has great ability at both ends of the floor. You look at his statistics, he's 14 assists, I think 5 turnovers, right? He's capable of being a high-level defender both on and off the ball. He just needs to put more time into the game and be more disciplined, and I think you'll see a really, really, really good player. But there's a lot of guys that can never get the discipline part. But I like Chad, so I normally when I have a good relationship with somebody, I can get him to do what I want.
What happened at the end of the St. Joe's game? It looked like you were upset with him. Hughes got the technical, though, right? Did they get the right guy with the technical?
Yeah, they got the right guy. I was upset with all of them, really, but it's a matter of having a hard edge, but being professional and knowing you're good. No insecurities, right? That's kind of how I view it. Like you want to have that hard edge, but you don't want to be like over the line because, you get a technical foul, that's your 4th foul or your 5th foul, just happened down the road, right? It can affect the game.
Keith, would you rather have a team where you have to back them off as opposed to try to push them up to that edge?
Oh, no question. Like, you don't win with soft. So, I'd much rather have to back them off. It's hard, but like you're not winning finessefully in this game. There's very few teams that win finessefully at a high level, really in any sport, right? Like if you have a soft defensive back, you're not going to get too upset like if he inadvertently spears somebody, right? Or, back in the day, that was a good hit, right? Like same thing.
Most teams, Keith, don't maybe have a guy like Crutcher who you always mention him. When you talk about Dayton, you think of him. There are some, but a lot of times when you're preparing for a team, I imagine you're prepared for the team. How much do you try to stay away from emphasizing a guy like him? And do you feel like your players are mature enough to just say, hey, we're going to go out there, play the game against this team. They're good. We're not going to try to over-focus on it. Do you talk? Is that something you have to worry about or concern yourself with?
Dave, in my opinion, if you don't guard the best players, you're not winning. If the complimentary guys beat you, then the complimentary guys beat you. But if Lofton beats you or Crutcher beats you or Kellen Grady beats you, then shame on you. Now, it's a little bit harder like when they can pass it and shoot it, right? Because now you got to be careful you don't give up open looks by overemphasizing a guy. But, like, you have to do special things to make sure that those guys didn't beat you. And look at Lofton beat us the first night, right? And Crutcher beat us at Dayton. We did a poor job. We did a poor job in transition. But I think we're a little bit better team now. But they're going to be better too. They've got some young guys too, so it'll be a good test for us to see where we're really at. So, but to answer the question is we can't just let them be comfortable. Like even if you're playing against LeBron or one of those guys, if they know like what coverage is coming or Tom Brady or Ben Roethlisberger, if they're comfortable, they're going to beat you. But if they're a little uncomfortable or they're not quite sure how you're going to play something, I think you got a better chance. Or if you mix it on them a little bit.
Coach, after losing Carey and Norman, a lot of people kind of counted you guys out, but obviously you've shown you can still compete and persevere through the season. What do you think it is about your specific group of guys this year that's allowed them to keep persevering through this tough season?
Throughout my career, I've kind of built my teams on team orientation, having a lot of depth, You know, that we went through a stretch at Akron where I think the leading scorer averaged 11, 10, which is hard. I didn't really like it, but it's hard, but it's good because if you lose a guy, you can still recover. You know, I didn't really know how it would all work. But what it has done is it's made our young guys have to play. And it's made them play early, which in the long run is really going to help us. You know, so Toby, Chad Baker, Tyson Acuff, Mikey, you know, Dre Harris, they've all had to play, which you take some short-term hits, but in the long term, it should help you if they can improve. So with every bad event, there could be a good event. That's kind of how I view life.
Keith, you've been in a lot of arenas in your career. What's unique about the Fieldhouse, in your opinion?
Everything, really. You know, it's just angry. If you can put people in the stands, it's going to be an angry place. It's going to be a hard place. That's going to be the next challenge for our program, is we need to sell out every night. Now, we have to have a good team to do that, but, I mean, I think the chicken and the egg, that's kind of a tough call. Like, we need to make sure that people are in here, and if people come here, then this becomes a big home court advantage. Now you don't lose at home. If you look around the country right now, you can really find out about home court advantages and how they've kind of dissipated, right? Because of no fans in the stands. So I think, you know, that's going to be a big deal for us.
Keith, Dave was telling us there are going to be 50 students in there, and I think friends and family of players. What would that be? Because you guys haven't had any fans at your LaRoche games. That's going to be like having a few people in, and with the new place.
You know, I don't know, really. We had some fans at Dayton, and I didn't think it really affected much. So I don't know. Did I answer that right? Because I got distracted. I'm not too good at doing two things at once.
No, it's okay. I mean, because it'll be interesting because I haven't attended a game with fans in a while, so I think it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Well, the Dayton Arena was bigger also, so maybe it will look different with people in this place.
That's true. I don't know how many people are allowed to come.
Well, I think based on what Dave was saying, wasn't it like 50 students in that lottery, and then your players are each allowed 2 or something like that? So I don't know. What does that come out to? About 100, something like that?
You can see where my focus always is. I don't know anything other than when the game is, and half the time I don't even know that. And get my team ready to play. That's about it. I don't really care about anything else.